I'll say it has been very sweet, smooth. I thank God for the first year we spent. It's a very, very enduring one, and I've really gained a lot in the first year. You remember that before I came to the House of Reps, I was a member of the Delta State Assembly for good 12 years. We were 3 tenure. And while there, I imparted on my people through projects and other palliatives. Let me use the word palliatives. And the only way you can impart on your people is through representation. You must contest election. When you contest election, you are obliged, it's an obligatory on you to take care of your constituents. And I feel the only way I can do for my constituents is by contesting election to improve the lives of my people. So I've done it before in the Delta State Assembly for 12 years. I found it necessary for me to take a step further to also impact my people with federal infrastructures and other development of democracy. In the last 1 year, I'll say I've done little of my ability. I've sponsored about 4 motions, 4 bills, and the bills are road infrastructure intervention bill that has to do with private participation. You discover that in Nigeria, generally, we lack roads, and most of the roads are in very bad shape. So I felt it's necessary that the private sector should come in and also help the federal government, in collaboration with the federal government, with an agreed formula where the private sector can do some of our roads. You know, if you go to advanced countries, you discover that, let me just use Lagos as an example. You will see the Lekki toll gate where tolls are collected. It was a private participation with the Lagos state government. That road was dualized. Before now, the roads was very bad and high traffic and what have you. And because of the state of our roads, I felt if the private sector can come in, they could do some roads, and that will ease the economic activities of our people. Then we also had the federal government, Federal University of Petroleum Resources Amendment Bill. It has to do with the autonomous of the university. Before now, that university is just like every other university. But the federal FUPRI was established as a specialized university, not just as any other university, as a specialized university. And funding is a major problem. So I felt that the only way the university can attain its glory or its height is by domiciling the university under the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, where funding can go directly for them to realize their goals. Then we also have the Federal University of Agricultural Technology in Okpe. It's a bill. We're waiting for we've done the first and second reading. That has to do with a specialized university also, just like FUPRI. You know, without agriculture, there's no way we can exist. And there's need for us to have a specialized university where not only farm implements, where specialized machinery can be produced and to enhance our agricultural sector. That is the essence of that bill. Then we have the police amendment bill. What we tend to amend, first of all, you see that police, we are saying that there's need for us to have our own local policing. That is just the essence. If you look at, let me give you an example. We have the federal police is at the federal level. To some extent, the governors do not have a control operating a federal system of government. The governor does not have control over the police, especially the commissioner of police. Based on the 1999 Yeah, based on the 1999 We are saying that if that thing is amended, the governors, even as far to the local government, will have some controls over the police affairs, those within the locality, but subject to the IG's directives. But now, like what happened just last week, when the deputy governor of Ondo State was his security escort or what have you, is withdrawn. It's very hard because changing a party is at his own will. So you don't subject him that he's not entitled to security officers or aides. So with this one, the state will now have little control over the police. It's their own entitlement. We're trying to make it, let us practice a true federal system. If you go to abroad, you have the federal mind, FBI, you have the state, you have the county, you have the sheriff, and what have you. Gradually, we'll get there. We'll have to start from somewhere. That's the essence of the bill. Then, on motions, we have, just to impart, we have motion on the need for the federal government needs of power to step down Ogorode. You know, Ogorode is the only power station in Nigeria that has no step down within its complex.
What do you mean by step down?
Step down, it means transformer. For the local people to enjoy the power being generated from their community. Right now it's a pass-through. They generate and send it out to other states. Okay. Delta State does not enjoy the Ogorode power station since its establishment. Then other one, the need for the relocation of the headquarters of Nigeria Gas Company. We are saying that there are rumors that Nigeria Gas Company, which is a subsidiary of NNPC, that was established in 2006, 1986, is being moved to Abuja or Lagos. We are saying if you move that establishment, most of our people working there, mostly level 1 to level 6 or level 7, will lose their job. And not only that, the petty contractors that also they patronize Nigerian Gas will not have any contract, and that one will bring instability, conflict. That will make many people to go into armed robbery and what other vices are something. So I'm saying that the House or the federal government should not move the Nigerian Gas Company from Uvwie, where it is right now. There's an intention to move it. Yeah, there's an intention to move it. It's very, very clear. They're already working on it. Okay. So I'm saying that they should leave that establishment. It's a subsidiary. It's just like saying we should move the energy from brass to Abuja or to Lokoja. If they want to move it, we are saying that if they want to move it, they should move it to Sabisa. Let it go to Sabisa, not Abuja or Lagos. Because there are reasons that they can for marketing sake and what have you. Yeah. The company has been there for years. They've been making profits. From there they service other West African countries. Why do you want to move it now? So this motion tends to put a stop to the movement of that company, NNPC subsidiary from Ekpa, Delta State. Then we have motion on the need to address the incident of violence, crime on our highways. You know, most times police, because the bill on this police also addresses that. You know, if you see SARS, the way they dress, they are even like armed robbers. I don't know, they are even like armed robbers. And you know, armed robbers, they also, because the way they dress, armed robbers also use this uniform to harass people. Not only that, some drivers themselves, they also harass, people on the highway. So this bill seems to place a penalty on such acts. Because by the time you see a penalty, a death penalty or what have you, that will, or 10 years or 20 years imprisonment, you first of all watch the act you want to commit before carrying out the act, except you don't value your life. Yes. The motion to address the abuse of firearms, improper dressing by the security agency, which is almost the same thing. You see, SARS, many a times, you say, reform SARS. But to date, the stubborn ones, they still wear their mufti. It has not been reformed. It has not been reformed. So if there is an enforcement from the federal government or from the House telling them that they must dress this way. I know detectives, they are detectives, but not the way they put on rags and what have you. They look like armed robbers also. You know, I can tell you, there are times when you go on the highway, most of the kidnapping, most of these people kidnapped, the way they dress like the SARS. And they also have the same weapon like the SARS.
And when you see them coming,
you think they are policemen. Like, I'm a very good citizen of this country. Wherever I see any roadblock, I tell my driver to stop. You know, you don't pray. What if you meet the wrong people? Yeah. What happens? So this motion tends to address that aspect also of tracing, not only on the highway, even within our own communities. Then we have motion on the need to include and enforce the teaching of health safety and environment education in our curriculum. It has been in our curriculum. It's the enforcement.
The enforcement.
You see, COVID-19 took everybody unaware. Lassa fever took everybody unaware.
We are not prepared.
We are not prepared for it. So if we start educating our children from primary school, even from kindergarten to primary school, on the need to wash our hands and take care of our environment and what have you, you know, whenever there is any outbreak, we will be very, very much conscious. Yeah. It does not mean that when you read arts, you should not do the basic science at the lower level. Yes. So this one will address this thing. And not only that, safety is there. Many people, whether you are in the private sector or public sector, safety is paramount. Without safety, there's no way you can live your life. As we are seated here, let's assume there's fire outbreak in this complex. If you are safety conscious, you know where to take. Yes. But if you are not educated or taught, there's no way, before you know it, you might even run into the fire. Or if there's any attack, you might not even know the exit. Yes. If I enter any complex, the first thing I look for is exit. Exit, number one. Another one is emergency exit. In case there is any wahala or problem, I take off. So you must be we need to be educated. The rudiments of all these things does not mean that you must read a science subject or any course. Yeah. It's something that will help us in our society to grow. There was a motion on the need for the reconstruction of the first East-West Road, which was co-sponsored by the All-South legislator in the House of Reps. With that motion, those bad spots between River State and Bayelsa are being repaired now. You know that road was awarded some years back. Up to date, it has not been completed. With our motion, within 2 days, Central could move to site. And I'm very sure with the speed they are going, to complete the East-West road. And also had a motion on the repair of Uvwie Sapele Bini Expressway.
That road is very bad.
It's very bad. That road was constructed in 2001, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Up till now, the road has not been rehabilitated. We are saying that the road should be reconstructed, not just rehabilitation. If you are doing palliative, before you know, those spots will still go bad. In advanced country, every road has its own time or year of existence. Like in Nigeria, normally we're supposed to be repairing our roads, remove the first layer or second layer every 5 years. And when that road was constructed, the road was made for a particular volume of roads. As at that time, many people had no cars, has no truck. Yeah. But now the volume of cars has now added pressure on the road. So the frequent pressure on the road has now made the road to give way. We are saying that the road should be reconstructed right now. For now, I have 4 bills. 4 bills.
On the floor?
On the floor. Okay. Then I have 9 motions. I'm not including petitions about 4 also. They are not adding a group, apart from one here. Yes. There are those co-sponsors of motions or bills. I'm not including them. I'm talking about my personal ones. And I still have about 6 that are also coming. I'm very sure before my first tenure in the House of Representatives, I should be able to come out with about 10 to 12 bills. The National Assembly is the legislature. The legislature is an institution. We should get it right.
Yes.
Once the legislature is off, we are not practicing democracy.
Okay.
And the legislature is the representative of the people. They represent every segment, be it at the council, at the local government council, be it at the state level, be it at the federal level. And what most people think, they think we are in the executive. That once you are a legislator, you perform both the legislative work and the executive function. Like I said, when the Uvwie, Sapele, Beniro was in a deplorable condition, they were calling our names. We legislators. You've not done. Please move a motion. Come and do our roles for us. Do I have the executive power? No. Now, this COVID-19 that came, palliative also came. What's it called? Most of our people never prepared for it. They were crying for palliative. They were calling the legislator to bring palliative. Should we use our private money for palliative? But because of the cry of our people, you have to come and do a little. Normally, it's the responsibility of the state, federal government, and the local government. I watched what happened in abroad, where just phone call you make to a center that are in charge of palliative. They will ask you the number of children with you or your family members, whether they calculate it and bring a very fast. They don't even need to. Even you don't go to them. They bring it to your doorstep and wish you well with a card of it. Here is just to open your door, you carry your palliatives. And that would last you, if you want for 1 week, if you want for 2 weeks, if you want for 1 month, they give you the number or the quantity you request for. But in Nigeria, every legislator, if you don't take care of the bearer of people, marriages, child education, farming,
yes,
house strength,
yes,
and what have you, yeah, marriages, then you are not a good education, school fees and what have you, even trimming of hair, what have you, anything you can think of, we perform, even when the facilities are there, they don't care, they just feel that it's only you that will do that. If I show you my test, what I've received today, yesterday and today, in fact, if I calculate the amount that it will cost me, is far, far above my 3 months salary.
But Your Excellency, how do we change that percentage?
The only way is to educate our people that the legislature is to make laws. Is to make laws. If we don't make good laws, we don't have the time to even do research. We don't have the time because every phone call that comes, if you don't have a very good heart, a stable heart, if you see some calls that are coming, it quakes your heart. It capitates your heart. And that can lead to high pressure and what have you. Some members don't even go home again because of the pressure. They just feel that once you go home, you've brought a lot of naira or dollars from where. As I speak to you, I don't even have, for now, I don't even have my own official car. How much was given to us to furnish our houses, to get house and what have you? Even in Uvwie, that amount is not even enough for me to hire a duplex. Even as I'm talking about duplex, a 3-bedroom flat. To hire a 3-bedroom flat and furnish. The money given to us, if we are to go by that, none of the legislators will stay in this Abuja metropolis. We will go as far to Maraba is too well. It's not a joking. No, we shouldn't play with this thing.
Yes, sir.
We shouldn't play with it. I'm serious. All what you are seeing here, the fridge, what TV and what have you, decoration you see in this place, where is my money? They just brought one, what's it called? something trader and what have you. Laptop. If you wait for that, you will not perform. So what we are saying is that they see the legislature as a money spilling place. Whereas right now, most of us, the money we kept in the bank or we had in the bank, we still use from there to service our constituency. Yeah, we are bound to help our people, but not to the volume. Well, what they call, they cannot reach the governor, so the only person they can reach is their representative. Yes. And we cannot, the only we can do is by motion, please, we need so thing from our constituency. It's not the physical, it's not the cash, but our people believe in cash business election. As far as you are a legislator, just feel that as you are coming every weekend, you have a bag of cash from the CBN or for the federal government to share for them. They will tell you, they voted for you. So whatever thing they see in your body, they feel that they gave it to you. So you must give them their own share. Forgetting that you were once a businessman or you worked before, you have your savings and what have you. So the perception can only be changed by us. When I say us, the Nigerian society, we need to educate our people that the legislature is a law-making body. The executive is to execute, while the judiciary is to interpret the laws if there's any conflict. If Uvwie is made under the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and adequate funding, and the school is well funded, and we need to achieve its goals, that is one achievement. Secondly, if Federal University of Agricultural Technology is established in Okpe, hey God, that one will be a life legacy, not only for myself, my children. So that is all. Then another thing is other bills that I've made. I know that I want to impart on my people. Presently, I'm making moves on the establishment or construction of a gigantic water project in Okpe. I pray God to help me and those that have also reached to make it possible for the Okpe people, especially Okpe, to have a good water system or supply in Okpe. I'm working on that. Then the Sapele port is another one I'm also working on. The motion has been taken, and it's for the minister or federal government to make it functional. Then the establishment of the power step down at Ogorode. If that one is done, because if the NEPA were able to have a step down, that one will improve the electricity of our area. You know, the artisans and what have you, because there's nothing you do now. The barbers are they need light. Without that, without light, you cannot do anything. Preservation of agricultural goods and what have you, they need light. Even you as a pressman, without light, you cannot perform. So we all need electricity. So we are praying that the federal government should come to the aid of our people, especially data center, with the establishment of the Ogorode power station. Remember I told you that it's among the power plants we have in this country, it's only Ogorode that does not have a step down. What a discrimination. We are saying that the federal government should come. And if that one is done, Sapele people and East Several start to Ethiopia West and Ethiopia East, Okpe, Uvwie, Warri, we have a relief. We are ready to pay our light bills, but let us get the light, just like a developed society. Then, with other things I will also propose, I know that I'm not God. With time, we have more things that are coming up, and we are all dynamic. I'm very sure I will take advantage of any opportunity to give dividend of democracy to my people, that my people will be remembered for, and also myself to say, who brought this thing to this federal country, say, it's Honorable Efe Afe, the Atatigo of Okpe Kingdom.